So I'm going to talk about all my other encounters with these beings during both my expeditions at Ozette Lake and Little Pond Oreille Wildlife Refuge. I already made a video on everything that happened at Ozette, but not a lot happened, so I'm just going to kind of brief over that. In my Ozette video, I say this happened the first night I started screaming insults, but I was watching my old GoPro footage, and it was actually the first night I was at Allen's Bay. And my first couple nights at the lake I spent on Tivoli Island before going to Allen's Bay. And at Allen's Bay, I set up a tabernacle between 3 trees, and I wrapped some paracord around and draped tarps over, and set that up so nothing would be able to sneak up on me. But my first night out there, right when I fell asleep, so it was like the moment I fell asleep, something came up, slapped the side of my tarp, and ran away. And I mean, it was like right when I woke up, hearing all this, so it's not super concrete, but I remember thinking it sounded like it was on 2 legs. It didn't have like the scatter of 4 hoofs or 4 legs. I remember thinking it sounded like the pitter patter of 2 feet stepping away. And the only thing that happened out there other than that was this hippie dude came to my campsite one time, and he had these 2 dogs. And dogs usually love me, and I love dogs, but these dogs were freaked out by me. They wouldn't get anywhere near me. They were barking at me nonstop. And he had come to my campsite looking for a trail that took him from the lake to the Pacific Ocean, and it was way overgrown, but he got farther than I was able to, but he had to turn back because the dogs were too freaked out and wouldn't go any further. And that's pretty much all that happened at Ozette. Nothing really concrete, nothing really major, nothing that took me to 100% like the creek incident did. But Little Pond Oreille, after the creek incident, I'll include it, if you haven't seen that video, I'll include it in the description. But I want to say, like, that first night, or within the first couple nights, I remember waking up, and it was that same feeling of like between when I'd hear the commotion, the trees getting torn down and like tearing through the underbrush, all that same claustrophobic, just heavy feeling. I'd wake up and you could like just feel it all around you, like kind of crushing down on you. But another night, I woke up and I felt something rocking my car, like rhythmically rocking it. And I remember like waking up and thinking like that was like just like the residual movement of the car, but I stayed still for like 10 seconds and it just kept going. And so I let out like an Indian rebel cry, just to yeah, and it stopped right away, right after I let out that cry. And I want to say at least 3 times I woke up with that heavy feeling of fear, and I figured out how to stop it. And if it wasn't for the creek incident, I would have thought this was just like a psychological effect of overcoming fear. But I remember cracking open the door one night, and I can't say it on YouTube, but with an F, I remember just yelling out, "Maggots!" And I want to say almost instantly it stopped. It just went away. But I just remember yelling that, and after that, I didn't have to deal with waking up with that heavy feeling anymore. But also, through June and July, like wood knocks and stone claps became so common, I stopped caring about them when I'd hear them. And when I say wood knock, I mean like I would hear branches fall from the trees and hit other trees and make a knocking sound. That's not a wood knock. A wood knock sounds like a baseball bat smacking a tree. Like when you hear a wood knock, your mind instantly goes, "Oh shit, there's someone over there." Like it's like when I hear a wood knock, almost instinctually, or just the way my mind my mind instantly goes to thinking there's like a woodworker over there. There's a lumberjack over there. you know, because it's just obvious that there was someone over there smacking a tree. And again, that became so common that I stopped caring. Like 2 to 5 times a day, it really felt like I was just hanging out with them all day. Like I couldn't see them or anything, but it felt like I knew they were there, and I was just like hanging out with them. But so after I healed and everything, I went maybe a quarter mile from where the creek incident happened, and made a hunting blind out of garbage bags because a thermal camera can look right through a garbage bag. And I left that up for like 3 weeks, and I only spent a couple nights out there, but I left it up for a long time. I remember when I eventually took it down, going out and taking about half of it down, and taking about half of the stuff back to my car because that's all I could carry. And while I was back at my car, I hear this, like, it sounds like a monster screaming in frustration, about like maybe like 100 to 150 yards from where the hunting blind was. And I'll try to imitate it, but it was just like a like that. Again, I can't do it, but just imagine something like that, but more monstrous sounding. And I think what that was they probably avoided that entire area the entire time that hunting blind was up. They probably thought it was some kind of trap, so they had to probably reroute all their travel, probably screwed up hunts they were on. And when they saw it was nothing, it was just a empty garbage bag shell, I think it really pissed them off. And about a month after that, I set up a tabernacle of garbage bags, probably about a mile away from where the hunting blind was. And I'd gone out there multiple nights just screaming insults. And one night, in the middle of me screaming insults, I hear a super loud wood knock in the brush, like right where I can't see. And like right when I hear that wood knock, a message comes into my mind. And I don't know if this was mindspeak, but this was like the closest thing to what I think any experience I had with mindspeak. And it was like an instantaneous message of, we know what you're trying to do, and it's not going to work. So after that, I kind of gave up everything I was trying to provoke these beings, everything I thought might get an aggressive response. It just seemed like it was futile. It seemed like I fully believed that they told me it's not going to work, that they put that message in my mind somehow, and that wood knock really was a message to me. And after that, that's when I started to expose my firearms. I started just going on patrol, and I mainly started going on patrol just for content. I was hoping to start a YouTube channel right when I got out of the woods, but a lot happened. I'm not. I'll make a video about all the bad luck I faced after my Sasquatch expeditions, because it's significant, and I don't think it's a coincidence. But there was one time I think I might have seen one, and this might have been a moose, this might have been something else, but it just stuck out in my mind as a weird occurrence. And I was going down to the creek to fill my water jugs. I remember getting down the hill and looking over and seeing something tall and black just standing in the brush. And my first thought was it was a moose, because I had seen moose in the area before. And I wanted to get out of there as quick as I could, because there was nothing in between me and the moose. You know, if it wanted to kill, if it was a moose and it wanted to charge me, it could have no problem. And so I turned around and got out of there pretty quickly. But looking back, it was so intensely black, and it didn't look like long, you know. Initially, I didn't think it was a Sasquatch because it wasn't even trying to stay hidden. Like, there was just enough brush to hide it to where it was kind of obscured, to where I couldn't make out what it was. But I've always wondered if that was one of them testing me, whatever reason, seeing what I would do. But it might have been a moose. I don't know. And now, of all my Sasquatch encounters, I think this one's my favorite. It's not as intense or as cool as the creek incident, but this is the one that brings a smile to my face. So one of my staple foods when I was living in the woods were baked potatoes. Because to cook a potato out in the woods, you just need aluminum foil and some embers from a bonfire, and they taste delicious. An ember-cooked baked potato is 100 times better than an oven-baked or microwave-baked. It's not even a comparison. Anyway, so I remember one night, and this had to have been in August, I put 3 potatoes in the embers, and I ate 2 of them. And the last one, I was waiting for all night and all morning to eat as my breakfast. So I wake up, I'm all excited for my potato. I go out, and right by the embers, it's unwrapped and eaten. Now, that could have been a raccoon, but this happened twice with potatoes and once with a piece of pizza. And the piece of pizza I like intricately wrapped because I didn't want any of the ash or the charcoal or whatever to get into the cheese and ruin it. So like I double wrapped it, and again it was unwrapped and eaten. Not torn at all, unwrapped and eaten. A raccoon can't do that, and that's the only other animal that there's any chance that they'd be able to do that. And I think it was a Sasquatch, and I think it was them sending me a message that like they knew, like my firearms were out in the open. I spent multiple days shooting them, and they still went into my campsite within like 15 yards of where I was sleeping, and they took a fucking potato out of my campsite. And I think it was a message like, we're not afraid of you, you know. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all my encounters with these beings. So I hope that was interesting. I might refilm this when I get better at all of this.